We've come a long way, baby. We've come a long way. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, to Hey Rockstar, your favorite show every Thursdays at 5:55. But today, because it's a special day, simply because I have a call time here in a few hours, I am making the last episode. Yes, you heard right. This is the last episode, our 50th episode for season 1. This is episode 50, and we're going to call it The Journey of 1,000 Miles. I am your host, Josafat Emiliano. Miguel chilling right there on the guitar. I'm excited. Honestly, I don't know where we're going with this today. I'm just going to reminisce. We're going to kind of go back on how we started, the journey we've had. That proverb came to mind. A road of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. And that's really what the whole story of this is. Just begin with where you're at, no matter what you want to do. But I got a few stories to share. Hopefully you'll be encouraged by it. If this is your first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a storytelling platform where yours truly loves to share his stories. But I also invite guests who will share and compare and contribute their value, their stories filled with value that you can take and apply it to your disciplines, apply it to your life, to give you the courage, to give you the confidence, to give you the ability to detach from failure, take ownership of your life, and develop the right mindset so that you can go and become the rock star of your industry, of your life, of your dreams, of whatever you want to do. We will give you the tools but it's up to you to go and get her done. Anyway, if it is your first time, please do the thing, show the love, the subscribe, the follow, the share, all those good things. We will love you very, very mucho. I know Miguel especially loves back a lot those people who do all this for us. But we've made it. The goal was to do 50 episodes this first year since we launched Hey Rockstar September 29th of 2020. Because that was a crazy year, y'all. And I'm going to take these off if you don't mind. Because entering season 2, we're going to do something different. I want to have more. I want you to be able to see my eyes better. Although they served a good purpose, they still will serve a good purpose as a rock star. But as I develop my brand as a speaker, I can't always go on stage wearing the shades. Although my coaches have told me that I could pull it off. If anyone could pull it off, you can, Josafat. Oh, man, that's some good, high quality. It's not really H2O. It's a seltzer water or whatever it is. Anyway, sparkling water. Man, to think back of how far we come. You know, this all began. Yeah, let's start with the story began. This happened back in during the pandemic. Whenever everyone was at home, I was working from home. And I was done watching my training videos and I started watching YouTube. I started watching other people who started streaming and I love that aspect. I love the opportunity and I had always wanted to start a podcast of some sort so that I could share my stories. I've always had the desire to impart and share just the universal truths that I've picked up along the way through all my adventures, through all my journeys. And it was something that I've been wanting to do. And I was like, well, I was just kind of I was watching more and more people start their live streams and following certain people and loving the content they were providing and was networking with them, connecting with them and just talking with them. And everyone's telling me, just do it, just do it, just do it. And it wasn't until Low Budget Productions was revisited or resurrected. One of my best friends, Joe Sanchez, started his podcast. Actually started several podcasts. And then he started encouraging people around him to start podcasts. And he's like, Josafat, you need to do your own podcast. He's like, you should do a podcast. You should do a podcast. And I was like, I want to, but I also want to do a live stream. And so I then decided, you know what, I'm going to start the live stream. And that could be kind of my vlog. That could be my way to to contribute the content within me. And I just started where I was at, because the same thing with my best friend. He just started where he was at, and his show grew pretty good. And I love the content he was providing. And I was like, all right, let's just go for it. And so today I decided it'd be fun to revisit some of these things. Let me go and set this up first. And we'll watch a few clips, not too much, so you can just see the evolution of how Hey Rockstar came. But it all begins with that Proverbs. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. And everyone always says, just begin where you're at. You just need to start creating momentum. So let us pull up the share screen. Now, you know I took off my shade, so you won't see the reflection of my screen and my lights on my lenses. Hey Rockstar. Boom. There we go. Can you see that? This is my, let me minimize it a little bit. This is my, what did I do? Oh, this is the Hey Rockstar page on YouTube. And YouTube is where I've archived the majority. I've edited a lot of them by editing, usually, that long intro. I like to keep the intro on, and I'll have like 5 to 6 minutes of music. Even that in itself was an evolution of where I've come. I'll start playing music and allow people to come in, and then I got the intro, which I think I'm gonna have to trim that down some more, because anyway. And then I come in talking. That's I've trimmed that part, so whenever you go to review, you just go straight to me going straight into the content, straight into the nitty gritty. But here's something that I wanted to share. This is what I've been talking to you guys. I've always started off with Motivation Mondays.
Hey Rockstar, happy Monday. Now, it's been raining a lot here in Nashville, and I've been trying to remain faithful with my cycling every morning. But today I took a bridge that I've taken numerous times, and as I took that corner, my bike slipped out from under me and I busted hard. It hurt. And there was some cute joggers going by. It was embarrassing. But I couldn't stay where I was at. I got up.
Let me go and
brushed
just
myself, checked.
Let me go and just
for
pause
bruises,
this, because we don't need to get further back into that. So I on my Instagram, I used to do Motivation Mondays, which is just 1-minute clips. And actually, I started bringing these up and the cool thing is on since you only get a minute, I would like record myself, and people were like, how do you edit? Like, I'll record myself. Hey Rockstar, how you doing? Today's thought is this. Be this, be this, be this. I was just like guerrilla editing on the fly, and then I really wasn't editing it. I already kind of had what I wanted to say, and I would just break it up in pieces in my head, and I would say it at a different angle, and people were like, "Ooh, great editing work," and such, or just crazy editing work. And like, yeah, I wasn't really. I was trying to do that, but not really do that. But those started off with little minute clips, and then I started loading them up on YouTube because I wanted to share. A few. I didn't put them all, just like the ones building up to that one. But then I gotta say that afterwards, I announced it that when I finally decided I'm gonna do Motivation Monday, I decided to go ahead and promote it. And so this was the promotion one.
Hey Rockstar, I got something different for you this Monday. Special announcement. Next Tuesday, September 29th at 11:31 a.m. Central Time, we are officially launching the Hey Rockstar Storytelling live stream. It's going to be awesome. So starting next week, I'll be bringing to you stories from my life and others.
Again, I'm just walking around this hallway or this alleyway next to some businesses.
About the live chat features,
I love the brick.
If we have time, we can even do like an on-the-spot Q&A.
Anyway, so that was where I was going with this, and then I eventually started with episode primero. Now, episode primero, I got to tell you this. It was very, very simple. It's the whole start with what you have. Now, the one thing I did have though, because one thing I know is if you want to start, you need to start with your video can be bad quality, but if you can get good audio, people are willing to stick around and listen to it more. And so all I had was my laptop, an old laptop at that. And so also investigating on how I wanted to stream this, I was told about OBS. Is that what it's called? I was talking about all these other ways that people have been using to do some streaming software, but a lot of these things required me having to download onto my computer, and my laptop was old and slow. Still is old and still is slow. I haven't bought a new laptop since, but it's the goal. So I needed something that wouldn't slow it down, and of course StreamYard. I heard about that, and a lot of the people that I was watching were using StreamYard, and they had a free service that I could try out, and I'm like, you know what, let's give it a shot. And I eventually started the Hey Rockstar episode primero was on StreamYard, but I didn't start the pay. So you see how here we have the little Hey Rockstar watermark. With the free one, you have to use the logo for StreamYard. Thankfully though, since I'm also involved with low budget productions, people just like, hey, it's a duck with the low budget productions. But let's go ahead and let me pull it up real quick, and I'll show you where it's at. Where you at? Oh, episode primero. Again, nothing.
If you were to go to heyrockstar.com,
okay, let me
it
lower
will
down the
send you
volume.
to a marketing advertisement agency, which isn't a bad thing because
Let's go. Oh yeah, I'll get to that part.
areas.
So as you can see, basically all I had, it's still the room. During the day, I think I started my show at 11:55 on September 29th. And I had my lamps, the lights, all that stuff, but I was using just basically my laptop. And I had, the one thing is I did have the little Apogee mic you see there. That was a little mic that I would use for recording a lot of other music in the past. It's a USB mic, but it did the job that I needed it to do, and it was good. The only problem is I had no way to control or be able to tell if the game was on or it was too hot or not loud enough. And so that was a limiting factor I had. So sometimes some of my episodes were like really loud, and sometimes or I was quieter than my guest. It was annoying. Now that I have this, I can at least tell where our levels are at better. But anyway, it's not about, oh, look at what I did or look how it was going. It's more of just so you can get an idea of where you can start. You don't have to start with what you have, or you don't have to start with like the professional stuff. And especially if that's what's keeping you from attempting something, look at what you possibly can do and just go from there. And so the evolution started happening. I believe it wasn't until, I want to say it was episode, let me look at 3 real quick. Was it 3? Okay. I want to say by episode 3, I started bringing in, as you can see, I started bringing in some like little, sorry, I brought in like little, I forgot what they're called, can lights with colored light bulbs to kind of give it a little more rock star feel, like you're at a concert. And I was just having fun experimenting and trying out what I'm doing. I'm going to leave the audio off because unless you really want to hear it.
Oh my gosh, almost 6 years now that I made the leap to
leave the mother state of Texas. All right, so now that I think about it, I don't want to get too into depth about everything. I thought it'd be fun to just see the evolution step by step. But now that I think about it, the reason you come to the show is not so much so you can, I don't know. Let's just chat a little bit. Or actually, let's continue on and let's see what I feel. Because I want to say it was episode 8. No, it was episode 6 or 7. It was episode 6 or 7 where I discovered, or I learned that I could transform, or I could start using my GoPro. I had a GoPro 9 Black, and I could convert it into a webcam. And that became a game changer for a bit. Actually, I want to say it was this one. Yeah. This is episode 4. Episode 4, I was able to it was a wider view. You can see the bucket lights there, but the quality was better because it was a GoPro 4K, or maybe not 4K, maybe it was high def. And so it was a better quality than my webcam on my laptop. And also by then, as you can tell up here, you can see me up on the right corner. I put the logo up instead of having the little duck because I started paying for their services. So that, and also I changed the days, and I remember I went from Tuesday to Thursday, and then eventually I changed the time to 5:55, and that became a good time, and I continued to this day. I'm still trying to do it on 5:55 on Thursdays, except for today because we have something. I have to be somewhere here in a bit, or a conference. Conference starts this year, and so I have to be ready to go do photography and cameras and such. But that was a game changer for sure. And I started doing just more shows with that in mind. And it wasn't until episode 9 that I finally brought in guests. I started bringing in, my first guest was Will Baird, and we did an interview. Now, the deal about this show is I wanted to do it live, but he couldn't because of his schedule's crazy. So it was also the first time I pre-recorded an interview, and I had to figure that out in itself. Now there's an easier way for me to do it now that StreamYard has added a different feature. But it was cool to pre-record it and then play it live for you guys. And also just to be able to share my first guest, the first story. And he brought a lot to the table that a lot of my other people who've been watching, they liked what he brought and such. Now here is the game-changing moment. It wasn't until episode 11 with Lily Saito that, as you can see, I wore the shades. And so, I mean, it was cool, but eventually I took them off to talk with her and converse with her. And she's like, oh, you should have left them on. And I thought about it. And it was shortly after this episode. I want to say it was episode 12 that's when I started wearing the shades for my interviews, or just for my show in general, because it was the Rockstar. We wanted to bring this feeling of being just, it's the show. I'm bringing the vibe. I'm bringing the fact that I am the rock star, and I am the expert in this area, and I can bring this to the table. So that was fun. That was a fun experience, and I'm thankful that she encouraged me to keep doing it. So let me double check here on episode 12. Lily was 11. 12, yeah. 12 was a Christmas one because that's when I went home to Christmas, and I just had the GoPro set up there with Miguel, as you can see, and my Buckies, and that's when I started just using the shades and everything, and it became the icon. I mean, even the little logo that I have with me with shades, it's those shades. These, I don't remember how much I paid, maybe $10 for it. Inexpensive shades, but they look cool. They get the good vibe, and that's part of the evolution of Hey Rockstar. But let's see, another thing that I think changed the vibe totally, because people keep telling me that they love what I do. They love the way it feels. Honestly, I think this episode, which is episode 19, is Death to My Religion. That one was a very put my heart on my shoulder moment, because I told you guys about my faith and what I believe now. But it was in this episode that I changed the light bulbs on my lamps to give it like the little fiery look effect, and this LED. And I loved it so much that I decided to keep them. Every time I do my show, I change them out to these bulbs because it's a low burning light that just adds to the ambiance of everything. Now I could always get low burning lights, but at the end of the show, I like to change it to regular lamp lights because those are what I use to illuminate my living area, not so much my studio lights. But that show is whenever that big change happened. And I don't know, to me, that I think those things kind of create the atmosphere. As you can see, the lights are just kind of glowing. I love it. I love it. Lights really do a lot of things. It was a sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. That was crazy. I just kind of went off for a moment. Okay, and we're back. Oh, I lost some people. That's all right. Like I was saying, it was during that moment that I realized the lights. It was the episode that I did with I want to say with Jimmy, where I realized, because he's a light tech, he does a lot of things he travels and tours with bands, and he does a lot of lights for them. He also does a lot of lights for our church, The Belonging. Let's see if I can pull up his show real quick, because he even set a few little lights in his room, and he goes, "Oh, I need to put more lights because I'm the light guy." And like, yeah, you do, Jim. Oh yeah, it was the show immediately right after that one. Oh, and also after that, I changed those light bulbs. It was when I brought in the curtains. Here, let's pull this up. You can see the curtains are now darker, or they're eclipse curtains that I can use to close it up so that now the lights are always uniform. It's always to what I need. So it could be daylight outside, it could be nighttime outside. It doesn't matter. The time in here will always look the same because I can control the lights. And that was just part of the whole. And these are little things that I don't know it all. I didn't know it all when I first started. This was just practicing, seeing other people, watching what they do differently, and just adapting. And of course, eventually the next step was when I got the Mackie. I remember I got so excited because I was finally able to use the mic that I had. I had a condenser mic, and that gave the voice quality different. I was still waiting on another piece for this mic. I needed a little mini amp to add some boost to, because this is a dynamic mic, not a condenser mic. And so when the little piece came in, I plugged this in because this was gifted to me by my dad, and this, I love it. I love the fact that I have a broadcast mic with me. I have the mixer, and the final evolution of the show so far is, the two more steps. The next step, and I'm just gonna stop doing this because I'm explaining the technical, because some people really want to know about the technical. A lot of people ask me what I do differently. I finally upgraded to a different camera because I like the whole, you see me, but the back is kind of blurred off. I don't have too great. I don't have that set too strong, because I still want you to be able to tell what's behind me. There's some that is like, they're way more blurry. I'm not that finicky about it. But like with the GoPro 9, although it's great quality, it captures everything and it shows everything. So everything's high quality. So, but I wanted you to focus on the talent. So the Sony ZV-1 was what I got. It's not like the biggest of cameras, but it's perfect for my need for its streaming. Now, this camera is not a camera I go shoot shows or make music videos with. I can go and do some blogging with it. I really don't blog outside of here. I just rather stream. However, it's built for that kind of stuff. It's made for that, and it doesn't warm up. That's one thing I liked about the Sony, or at least this one, because I've had Sonys in the past, and Sonys for filmmaking, although they're great quality, great colors, they have and if you use a DSLR like I would to make little film strips or film clips or music videos, they do have a overheat limitations depending on the build, and they've been working on that. But anyway, but this one didn't have it it hasn't heated up on me while doing a show so far, thank the Lord. But and then the final thing, lights. Oh man. So when I first started closing the curtains, I would put lamps. I would put lamps with white lights. Kelvin, what is it called, Kelvin? And I had a clip light that it was a old lighting hack. You just buy like a paper lamp, Chinese paper lamp, or Chinese paper lamp shade, and just put it over that light, and that softens the light, and it creates like just enough. And depending on how close you want it, how far you get the shadows to desired effect. And that was great, but you really can't control the density of the light. So I was kind of stuck with what I got, and it would just illuminate me. It would illuminate everything. And so the final evolution, so far, the final thing I've brought in were, I finally bought a few studio lights that I can control the temperature, and I can control the settings on how bright I want them, how low. And the cool thing is, they don't have to be the same. I can make one little softer or a little darker, so that I can kind of have a shadow. But it doesn't illuminate everything. It's focused on me, or at least this area, which it's been pretty cool. And this, I know I'm just talking the technical, because some people want to know this. Now let's talk about for the last few minutes that I have that I wanted to share. We can talk about the emotional, the spiritual, the mental, whatever you want to call it, about a journey. As you hear me chug that water, the best story I can get, and talking about conference is here this year. My church does this thing called conference every year around September. And as far as they started, I've been attending and serving. I've served in almost every conference we've had, usually in media. This year I'm doing communications and media, which basically means photography and broadcasting. But that's just the titles of the groups they're in. But it was one year when we first did Municipal Auditorium. I had really devoted that year to serving and became really good at my craft as a camera operator, as a online director, as a technical director, all those fun things. And I've developed and honed my skills. And I was under the leadership of Ben Crossan, who really was a patient man. And he was real patient with me. And I grew a lot under his leadership and guidance, especially in using media. And when we did conference at the Municipal, he had asked me, he goes, "Hey man, would you like to be my number two?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, I need someone to co-produce this with me. And those two of us who were basically his hands, to help Ben out during this monstrous event. I mean, there was a lot. There was a big team. I mean, there was so many different people that we had there doing so many different things. But my goal when I was there, when he had asked me, is like, I'm going to be there to make sure that whatever he needs done gets done. And that's, and him and Davis were focused on all the technical. And I did a lot of the technical too, especially like laying down SDI cables, make sure the camera's going. But the other thing, the important thing they needed from me was, though, I was also the communications between our camera operators and them. So not only was it's like, because I'm more into relational. I know technical, but relationships are more where I am more comfortable, more confident, more able to dance, if you want to say. And so I became the middle guy between between Ben and our operators, because they needed communication. And so I was the encourager. I was building up people, and I was doing all those things to pour out. And I had to learn so much. And that's when I learned, I know enough of even in my job, the same thing happened. When I was at TPAC, I was doing stagehand work. I understood the difference between what they do in film world, so I was able to adapt quickly. But I had one simple goal. I wanted to learn how to fly the ropes. And there was an opening to become the head flyman, and they trained me, and I became the head flyman for 1 month. 1 month. Uno monto. Un mes. Monto. And after that month, the president of TPAC called me into her office along with my supervisor. I'm like, uh-oh, what'd I do? And she just laughed. She goes, honestly, We're impressed with what you've brought to the table. And although we know that you didn't go to school for this stuff, but we have an opening for a full-time position as a technical director, and we'd like to offer it to you. And I'm like, whoa, you sure? You doubt yourself, especially if this is something that you just kind of learning and figuring it out. And they laughed and said the same thing. We believe that you know enough of the technical, but what really we impressed us is your ability to work with the team, your ability to adapt with the people. And that's what we're looking for. Someone who knows enough of the technical, can get the job done, but at the same time, can that people respect, they like, and they can work with, along with. And I'm like, all right, I'll do it. And that became my adventure for 3 years, working as a TD there at TPAC. It was work. It was a different world. I loved it. I loved my time there, but I knew that it wasn't going to be a permanent thing. I knew eventually I had to move forward, and 2020 helped me move forward from there. And we're back to Hey Rockstar. Where's Hey Rockstar going? That's where I kind of want to end this. For next season, I definitely want to bring more guests. Our guests, though, aren't going to be so much interviews anymore. It's going to be more conversations. I want them to give and take. I want them to be able to ask me questions that they need to, and we can clarify and work through ideas, work through concepts, but all in all, just to bring value to you all so that you guys can take this and appreciate it. Also, doing that, I want also to be able to through the interview process, I want there to be more. My mind just went blank with this. I wonder if he said oops because I went offline just now. Did I ever come back? Yeah, I'm back. Greg Ferguson, you know what? I'm gonna put your interview up right now, because my mind just kind of went off. Okay, I'm back to where I need to be. Put it right there. We'll put it right there in the background. So in our conversation, the reason why also I want it to be more conversation, not so much just me and interviewing someone, but that way I can bring a variety of people, not just people who have become rock stars, but people who have succeeded. Because my view now is more, I want to encourage people like I've been sharing with you all. I help people detach from failure, take ownership, develop the right mindset to become the rock stars, to become the rock star. And so that looks different to different people. Everyone has gone through failures. Everyone has gone through moments that have paralyzed them. Everyone has gone through experiences that they've learned or they repeat. It's just, we need to hear those stories. We need to hear, because a lot of people are going through this time and aren't moving forward. They are stuck. They're paralyzed. Or maybe they're older up in age and they've realized that their whole life they've been working, devoting, sacrificing for has come to not so much their life, but their career path has come to an end, and they don't know what to do because for so long they've defined themselves by that. And when the plan failed, when the system has broken, what are they left to do? And they need to hear stories of everyday individuals like you and I, who have moved forward from our failures, have confronted our demons and said, I will take this, I will own you, but this will not rule me. But instead will help me step forward to something different, something new, something scary, but I have to move forward. I have to progress. I cannot stay the same. In Bible terms or in church terms, the 7 words of a dying church is, we've never done it that way before. You see, you got to move forward. Just because the past stopped working for you, you cannot stay there. We must move forward. Water that is still becomes stagnant and does not produce life, but rather death. But water that is currently flowing and moving brings life after life after life. So, Rockstar, Whether you've begun this journey or you've stumbled and fallen, or you're still on this journey of 1,000 miles, if you've taken that first step, way to go. If you've fallen down, you're stuck, you're sitting down, let me encourage you right now. This time is the time to get up. Stand up. Dust yourself off. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Think and remember, this is not the end. That's that goal way over there. That's where I want to be. Open your eyes and take that first step again. I'm learning to walk again. I'm learning to move again. I'm learning to dream again. I'm learning to love again. I'm learning to hope again. I'm learning to move forward, to advance. And so this, I don't know. I'm thinking also about changing the look a little. Definitely, I'm gonna have to figure out more ways to promote this show, because we're not the only ones who need to hear this. We're not the only ones who need hope. There are 7 billion souls on this rock we call Earth. We shouldn't be so selfish to keep it to ourselves. If our message can go and inspire and help, encourage and better someone else, then let's figure out a way for it to get to them. So that's the goal for entering season 2. For now, I'm still going to keep the show on Thursdays, but my Mondays might also be converted into extra shows if I have a lot of people who are interested in being guests, a lot of people who would love to share a conversation with me. I might do a Monday episode, but it's no longer going to be Interview with Rockstar. It's just going to be, hey Rockstar, episode 50 whatever or 60 whatever, 100 whatever, featuring, and let's just share stories, listen, and encourage others and give life. But that's it. I think that's good banter. I gave you technical stuff, and then I gave you inspirational, encouraging stuff. And here we are again. Let's see now. Gregory's still talking. Oh yeah, shortly after I got the new camera, I started the minisodes. Minisodes are fun. Well, I guess I better change it around, because it's just basically me sharing rants of value. But also, I bought a few other things that are upping my game as a speaker. I don't know why I did that. It should be there. I don't know. I'm having all sorts of technical difficulties right now. Ever since I accidentally shut down and logged off by accident. But I want to show you one with a curtain. I bought a red curtain now that I love having in the background for the minisode sometimes. Not all the times, but sometimes. Can you see that? As I rub my eye, look at that bald man. That beautiful bald man. Anyway, y'all, this has been fun. This has been great. I need to start getting ready for conference. Quick announcements. Next week, there probably won't be a Hey Rockstar minisode, and there won't be a Thursday Hey Rockstar episode. I'm taking the week off to rest, to recamp. No, honestly, normally the week after conference is when I take off on my trip, my trip to West Texas. But I'm gonna have to work because I have a few I'll be working on a film set for a few days, and then I've got the schools that I've assigned myself to help. And then on the 30th, oh no, not 30th. Well, the 30th we'll reside. But I want to let me get my calendar out, and so we can be for sure, know for sure. I just got a text message from someone from T-Pack. I hope they're not trying to get me back. No, nothing against T-Pack. I love it. It was good. But I actually get paid way more now when I was with Deepak, and I have way more free time. But that's because God has opened up opportunities that I believe. All right, calendar. So dates to write down: on the 27th, I'm planning to be back with a Hey Rockstar minisode. On the 29th, the official birthday of Hey Rockstar, I have a special birthday show planned out, and I'm going to go and tell you, I'm bringing in a guest, and they're going to be live in the studio with me. So it's going to be a great banter, great celebration. I'm going to see if any of our past guests can kind of pop in via the link to say hi, give a few minutes of words. I'm not sure yet. I really don't know. It's going to be a wild show. It might be a long show because it just might. And then Thursday, we will start with the first guest, who I still don't know. I'm still waiting to hear back. Hopefully maybe the guest that I had today we can show their stuff that day. Or I am waiting to hear back from a coffee person, a coffee genius, actually. So we'll see. I don't know. It's too early. So the 30th will be the official first. It'll be episode 51, but it's the first episode of season 2. And we'll just take it from there. So I'm excited. I'm glad that you're here to join me on this journey. And again, be encouraged that no matter how far or how little you feel you've gone, just keep moving forward, because your journey's not done. While you are still breathing, while you still have hope, keep moving forward. Good things are on their way for you, definitely for me, and for everyone around us that we love and cherish. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in to Hey Rockstar, the number one, I don't know, I gotta come up with the number one red shades wearing show there is on the planet. I want to thank you all for being here today. Like I love to say, thank you for letting us into your homes. Thank you for letting us into your cars. Thank you for letting us into your hearts. This has been episode 50, the official last episode of season 1, The Journey of 1,000 Miles. I am your host, Josafat Emiliano, all the way from Nashville, Tennessee. Oh, and that's Miguel back there. We want to just say until next time, much love and many blessings.